Hey Canucks fans, and welcome to another edition of Ask Me Anything. I'm Canuck Clay. This is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Sunday, August the 21st. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. I hope you join me tonight for my regular 10 p.m. Sunday night live stream. 3 more weeks until I relaunch, rebrand, do all those cool things. So I hope you join me tonight, and I look forward to chatting Canucks, chatting Team Canada, World Juniors, whatever you want to talk about. Let's do it all tonight. For now, I have a few questions that you sent in, some of them actually very creative, as usual. So let's get into it right away. Legendary Just Incredible says this. Here's a fun one. If you could replace any 3 players on the Canucks, 1 forward, 1 D-man, 1 goaltender, for this season only, with any 3 players in the league, same categories, who would they be? Assume for hypothetical situations from the Canucks standpoint, all proposals would be accepted. And for an added challenge, try to make the overall team cap situation be around the same or less. Okay, Justin, challenge accepted. You gave me McKinnon for Miller, Devon Toews for OEL, and Shesterkin for Demko, and that results in actually minus cap of $1.4 million. So a saving of $1.4 million. Quite impressive. And as you said, you think your team with McKinnon, Toews, and Shesterkin, with shipping out Miller, OEL, and Demko, is a better squad. I would not disagree. That is good. I think I've even come up with a better team, but maybe about a similar team, but I've spent a bit more money, but I'll show you what I mean in a second. Okay, so I try to choose different players to replace, as well as, of course, the replacement players themselves, except for Demko, of course. So let's start in goal. I'm taking out Demko and his $5 million, and I'm putting in UC Saros of the Nashville Predators, goalie just as young as Demko, also making $5 million. So basically that's a wash. But I'm bringing in, trading out Demko, putting in UC Saros. On D, you took OEL and a 7.26. That was good. I'm going to take out Tyler Myers and a $6 million, and I'm going to add, same side, Eric Chernak of the Tampa Bay Lightning, who is going into the last year of his last deal that only pays him $2.95. So let's just say $3 million. So I save $3 million there, taking out Tyler Myers on the right and putting in Eric Chernak. And then up front, I'm going to take out Bo Horvat's $5.5 million at center and replace him with Leon Draisaitl, who makes, I still think, a bargain for what he does, $8.5 million. So there's the $3 million that I saved Myers to Chernak. I'm allocating it to Draisaitl from Horvat. So my team has Draisaitl for Horvat, Chernak for Myers, and then UC Saros for Thatcher Demko. Now put that up against yours. It's McKinnon, Toews, and Shesterkin versus Draisaitl, Chernak, and Saros. You know, maybe I give a slight edge to your team, even though it's cheaper. But you never know. Obviously, chemistry and other things come into play. But I really like that question, a question very befitting of a legend. So thank you, Justin. I have Chernak, Saros, and Leon Draisaitl. Jaskrin says, what would be the hope if we went into the season with this roster, including Miller? And what's your predictions for Demko Martin save percentage next season? Good question, Jaskrin. My hope, and I talked about it on the weekend, I still think the Canucks can finish as high as third. I don't think they can beat any of the 2 Alberta teams, but I think they have a shot at beating both Vegas and Kings. So my hope, if we had this roster starting the season, is that we outscore our defensive problems, not in goal, but on defense, and that we finish third in the Pacific. Predictions for Demko Martin saves percentage. I'm going to go Demko 917, and I go Martin 912. 917 and 912, averaging out to about 914, 915 for the 2 goalies. Seems a little high, actually, but I'm that optimistic. Peter, 2 questions. Number 1, how would you honestly feel if the Canucks do indeed extend Miller, knowing that he is at the peak of his value? And number 2, if he starts playing bad after the extension? Well, obviously, you know how I'd feel if he played bad after the extension. Just like anyone else, I'd be really upset, and I'd be wondering why the Canucks extended him. But to answer your first question, how would you honestly feel if the Canucks do indeed extend Miller, knowing he's at the peak of his value? I look at the Huberdeau and Kadri contracts for Calgary, and I recognize that with any of these older guys, especially comparing Kadri, you're going to get maybe what you think is a bargain or a good deal, good value at the start of a long-term contract for an older guy. In the last 2 or 3 years may not be so good. So how would I feel? I'd feel that it's the wrong move. I still think it's best to trade him and recoup some assets, especially at the peak of his value, as you said, Jaskrin. But at the same time, I wouldn't be overly upset. But if I had my choice, I would hope that they would move on from him and recoup some assets for sure. Sorry, Peter asked that, not Jaskrin. So thank you, Peter, for that question. Joe says this: if JT, PD, and Bo end up being our top 3 centers, using each winger's strengths and weaknesses, who fits best with each of them? Put some thought into balancing each line with playmaker, scorer, and energy guy, plus defensive consciousness on each line. You can use all 10 fingers. Yes, Joe, that's a good reference to when I first tried to do these lines with our new guys like Lazar, Mikheyev, and Podkolzin. Okay, so you helped me out by putting JT, PD, and Bo as our centers. Okay, I do like Brock with Pettersson. I know that. And I think then, knowing that, with PD, I would put Brock on the right. With JT, I'd put Garland on the right. And then I think what I do is I'd have Pearson on Bo's left. So that leaves the 3 Russians to really slot in. So this is what I'm going to do. For a bona fide first line, I'm going to try Kuzmenko with JT Miller and Connor Garland. Then, of course, you have Kuzmenko has the good shot, Garland has the speed, and Miller has the overall playmaking ability. Then my second line, I guess I go PD, Besser, and Mikheyev. And I think PD, you have the playmaker, Besser, you have the shooter, and Mikheyev, you have the speed there. Whereas I'd say Garland would have the most speed on the first line. And then for the third line, then that leaves Horvat and Pearson, who they've shown some chemistry before. I put Podkolzin on that line. So I think Horvat's actually the fastest skater of those 3 guys. But I think Podkolzin gives you some energy and some youth and some rambunctiousness. So that's how I would do it, actually. I would go Miller with Kuzmenko and Garland. I'd go Pettersson with Besser and Mikheyev. And I'd go Horvat between Podkolzin and Pearson. So I don't think there's one line that's a lot stronger than the other. We would do that if it was PD and Miller were on the same line, but the fact that we're spreading them out, I think you have 3 even lines there. Sadu Muswala says this: I just got myself a ticket for the home opener against the Sabres. Nice. Have I been to a home opener before? Yes, I've been to plenty, actually. Not all the time, though. And if so, are the player introductions before the game as fun as they seem on TVs? You know, it depends. Some years they do it up really nicely with smoke machine, music, blah, blah. Others, it's pretty quick. They all skate out and they introduce them standing on the blue line. So it really depends. Sometimes it matches the theme of the season. But yeah, it's always nice, especially to hear that first cheer for new players like Kuzmenko, Mikheyev, Lazar. So I'd say they're not as hyped as I'm big into intros and stuff like that too. I'd say prepare to be disappointed from a standpoint of it's not amazing, but it's still pretty cool to see every single player introduced for sure. Eli says, thoughts on Rasmus Sandin, and you said Travis Hall, I think maybe Justin Hall. So thoughts on Sandin and Hall from Toronto's possible trade targets. Sandin is an RFA, possible contract stalemate, but skates well and hits. Hall is $2 million, 1 year to UFA, but 6'4", 210. Okay, I do not like Hall. I think he makes more mistakes than he makes. Good plays. And yes, even though he's behind Brody, Giordano, and Liljegren, I do not think the Canucks should go after Hall, even though they need more help on the right side. Sandin does interest me because he's a good skater, and he's only 24 years old. So of those 2 guys, I would go after Sandin, even though Sandin plays on the left, I believe. Hall plays on the right, and we are in more need of right-handed guys. But you can still always get better on the blue line. But I think the Canucks are going to target right as opposed to left. I just want to start with Justin Hall. Finally, Quacky says, rank the foods in order: hot dog, hamburger, and pizza. I'm going hamburger, pizza, hot dog. Nothing for me is better than a hamburger. I mean, sushi's better than hamburger. But of those 3 choices, I'm going hamburger and then pizza, just edging out hot dog for second place. So there we go, Canucks fans. I hope I answered your questions to your satisfaction. I'd love to get your reaction to my answers down below. I'd love it if you join me at 10 p.m. tonight for my weekly Sunday night live stream. Thanks to my sponsors, Perform and Transform, Personal Training and Weight Loss, and to Van City Experts Real Estate Group. Thank you, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Just Incredible, legendary Andrew Chang, and to Hall of Fame and franchise members. And thanks to all of you for supporting me as always. Subscribe if you'd like to. Like this video if you'd like to. Leave a tip A super thanks if you'd like to leave a comment below if you'd like to, and definitely become a member, upgrade your membership if you'd like to. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. And by the way, since you got it to 10 p.m., sorry, not 10 p.m., that's tonight. Since you got to the 10-minute mark, if you made it this far, type in the word sushi. Even though it wasn't a choice, you guys know that sushi is my favorite food. So type in the word sushi, and then I know that you made it to the end of this video. Okay, friends, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. See you tonight at 10 p.m. God bless, and go Canucks go.